Good afternoon, everyone. This is SVS Sudeksha, studying BTech CSE at Andhra University College of Engineering. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone to introduce yourselves.
Hello.
Hi everyone, I work here from Vizag Startup, local startup community. I also invest into domain names. Thank you. Can't hear you, hello.
Ravi Ishwarapu, yeah, CEO of AHAP. Thank you.
I'm working on startup called Creator Collab. Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Tariq. I'm from second year B Pharmacy.
This is Shazin, second year CSS.
I'm Ritik Karapati from CSE second year.
ఎవరు భోజనాలు చేసేట్లేరు మైక్ ఇచ్చినా వినిపించట్లే ఎవరి మాటలు.
I'm Pranav from CSE third year, Andhra University.
I am Usha Raju, director from Avani Organics.
Hi, this is Satya from Laya.
Hello, this is Abhiram. I'm a graphic designer and a software developer. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vijay. I'm a mentor with Gramina Incubation Center.
Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Sir. Hello, good evening. Okay. My name. Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Satya. I'm working on food startup called Saptaposhka. We are incubated in
Myself Srikanth, research scholar, Andhra University.
Myself Harini, I am from Andhra University Women's College, Computer Science 3x4.
I'm Priscilla from May Women's, first and third year CSC. I'm Sharon from Andhra University Women's Campus, pursuing my BTech Computer Science. I'm Kavya from AU Women's College and we are teachers.
Hi, Sriram here. I'm part of BCG and Gramina Incubation.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajshekar. I've worked in the corporate. I have experience of
Thank you. A very warm welcome to all the speakers, guests, and attendees. Thank you for joining us today. Startup Sanity's major goal is to inspire, motivate, and provide significant help to entrepreneurs. We want to create a supportive environment in which people can exchange insightful remarks and useful suggestions. Let us work together to nurture creative ideas and support entrepreneurial development. Here are a few ground rules before we commence the meeting. Kindly put your mobile phones on the silent mode. We request that you refrain from entering or exiting the session while a speaker is delivering their presentation. Please wait until the speaker concludes their session Please refrain from engaging in cross-talk or side conversations. Kindly note that an idea pitch is allotted a maximum time of 10 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes to present, and 3 to 4 minutes for Q&A session. We kindly ask all presenters to adhere to the allocated time to ensure a smooth flow of the event. We request the audience to reserve your questions for the designated Q&A speakers. Beginning this session, we have our first startup pitch of the day by Team Synerlink. I would like to call upon Ms. Kavya, Ms. Priscilla, Ms. Harini, Ms. Sharon Sanjana, and Ms. Serena to continue with the pitch.
ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉంది వస్తున్నారా మీరు బయట ఏం చేస్తున్నారు బయట ఏం చేస్తున్నారు బయట ఏం చేస్తున్నారు లోపలండి presentation. Okay, correct. Come on.
Good evening, everyone. We are Synerlink. We are a team of 5. We are here to present our innovative idea based on tank technology. So, how are we going to use this tank technology? We are going to use the tank device into a wristband. So, the wristband here produces electricity by the movements of hands. You can see how spherical holes inside it. We use the wristbands inside it. The tank technology. We are going to induce the tank technology inside the holes. So we are using the materials such as cellulose, copper and aluminum foil. Here actually before going into the triboelectric nanogenerator devices, we have to know about triboelectricity. So what is triboelectricity and how it occurs? Actually, it occurs when two dissimilar objects come into contact and separate. The electrons from one device flow into the other and also aim in maintaining equilibrium. We use this electron flow to produce electricity. We all already know that in our childhood that we rub balloons to our head, which is a dissimilar object when comes to fur. So when they come to contact, the electrons from one dissimilar object flow to the other, produce electricity. We have also created a small prototype with the available materials such as plastic, aluminum foil and tape. You can see the ball here which is created is generating a small amount of energy. I agree that the energy can't light up a whole building or a house. It's very small. So we are our target audience are basically communities such as parks and gyms, so that we can collectively make a significant amount of energy. So the value propositions we are giving are, we are making the consumers use the energy in a sustainable way, use and produce the energy in sustainable way. And this is our business model canvas. The price strategy here is basically based on geographical locations, that is in the areas where electricity is not that accessible, we are going to implement the price strategy accordingly, and economic pricing is also implemented according to the, as you know, the customer's mindset might vary, so we will implement the price strategy according to it. The SWOT here is our technology is innovative and the community, it engages community. It is environmental sustainable. So we are engaging many people to come together and produce a sustainable energy. There is no patent till now as per our research using tank technology in a wristband. And the weaknesses are, we are producing limited amount of output, which is a bit of drawback for us, but we will evolve this idea further. So the basic wristband, the minimum viable product that we are planning is, first we are introducing the tank technology to the wristband, and we also will ensure the safety measures and we will also check the durability of the product. The prototype, we also implement a pilot program gathering people and to test the durability and functionality of it and customers' experience, and build a LED indicator to know the charge is full, so that it might not exceed. We will also, as I have mentioned, we are having a weakness, that is we are producing much small amount of energy. So we will advance our technology with the time. So that's our MVP, and this is our team. Thank you.
Floor is now open for Q&A session, so all audience, if you have any questions, you proceed to ask them.
So those of you who are unfamiliar, and I missed the introduction part, so my name is Devakar, I'm the manager at AHA. Just a brief background, they are one of the finalists of Hult Prize on-campus competition at AU. They're one among the 10 finalists, right? They are one among 10 finalists of Hult Prize on campus. They actually placed what, third? Fourth. They're the fourth team in the rankings. So go ahead, question answers.
How does your product impact lives?
We are aiming to create a sustainable product. That is, many things that are generating energy are not sustainable. So we are meeting the UNO goals. So
Your product is about triboelectric, right? But that is the nano electricity model, and it cannot be converted into the UN SDG goals which are talking about sustainable electricity for cars or for people, because it is very nano electric.
we are using cellulose and copper balls. So it is meeting UNO goals.
And the electricity that you are going to generate is not going to be utilized for parks, like you have mentioned that you will utilize in parks, because the electricity cannot even power an LED, right?
We aren't using for the park, sir. Our target audience are the park and the communities where there is a lot of hand movements, but the target customers are different. Our target customers are where the electricity is more demand on, like emergency, military bases and mining places.
You
Like
would have
where
defined your problem statement at the beginning. But it came at almost the end.
So I understood that like it generates energy, right? So how is that stored? Like what is the is it battery based?
Mobile storage devices please store.
our band has a port where it is connected via cable. We discharge the electricity from the band into a mobile storage batteries, which we can take to the places which are to be used.
Okay, so the people who walk with it, it generates energy and it should be transferred.
Yeah, we'll collect the bands and we'll take out the electricity and
charge
discharge-
batteries.
Yes, and we'll be taking over the.
Okay.
This was also an important point, because completely right now, till now what we thought about is completely different from what you have described just what your product is actually.
So how much electricity is can you give some stats of how much electricity is being stored, let's say per hour of panels we were involved? Do you have some stats?
So, if we consider for 30 days using 200 wristbands for 6-hour day activity, we'll be producing for nearly 10 to 11 kilowatts according to these materials, sir. But we still haven't used the cellulose and the other materials, so it might vary the electricity production.
So the follow-up question for the before one, like you said, you'll be giving to the parks and military activities and all. So it means it means that like we give it to them the bands, they'll generate it while walking or doing their activities, and then you collect the bands again and you try to generate. Is it? Okay. So then is it not going to be for sale, or is it just going to be for giving to governments and to be implemented through them, or how are you planning?
Like we'll be partnering, we'll have a partnership with them. Like sometimes it depends. According to the energy we produce, if it is a less energy production type, that product, we'll be giving them we'll sell them. Otherwise, we'll be renting. We'll give them for rent, and we'll be taking the electricity and the bank.
Okay. Thank you.
Continuing our session with the second pitch of the day, I would like to call upon Fly Nexus and Mr. Charan Venkatesh and Mr. Nishai to continue with their pitch.
their team placed third in the competition upright.
So, good evening everybody. I'm G. Nishchay and he's my team, Charan Venkatesh. So, we are from Finexus. And what do we do? Why? How many of you know that drones can be used for multiple purposes rather than videography and filmmaking? Please raise your hand. Okay, that's quite a good number. And so, what about us? Who are we? Why we have a startup? So, we are a drone manufacturing and R&D company who manufactures tailor-made drones according to the customer's requirement, where they can customize their drone according to their service. Like a drone can be used for videography service, though the customization will be for videography. So see, the drone revolution unlocking potential limited choices. They can be used for agriculture, structural monitoring, and mining, traffic monitoring and mining. So in India, there is a potential growth of 67% in 2023, and in future it may raise up to 57% by 2027, which is approximately $16 billion industry. So we offer a variety of customizations. For example, you can see a multispectral image of agriculture, where there is a ADVA index, and those index determine the amount of the type of land. If the index is below 0 to 0.1, and it is a land where it is a terrain land or a snow land, and if the index is 0 to 0.3, they are just 0.12 in between 0.4. If the index is between 0.1 to 0.3, it may be small shrubs, and if the index is more than 0.6, it's a rainforest. You can see the greenery. This is a Bangladesh map. You can see the greenery of it. It can be achieved through multispectral image and software processing. And then next, construction. We create photogrammetry. We use photogrammetry to create 3D models of construction and site. So we can use 3D modeling for many purposes. So this is a dam which is in Visakhapatnam. It is Gambiram Dam. I hope you're all aware of it. So these green lines are the photos and their geotags. Geotag is basically when you click a photo of any piece of land, the camera implies a tag where the latitude and longitude are located on. So with this we can inspection the monitor side, and it is also used for disaster management to know the amount of disaster happened. So event horizon. Currently, we are interested in construction, surveying, film photography, and agriculture, precision farming. So why choose us? Why should you choose us over the others in the current drone market? We offer we build drones to your specifications, not the other way around. You get to choose what you spend on. So basically, what happens is, if you buy a drone in the market, they offer you the features which you won't use. So for example, an agriculture drone doesn't need a sports mode, or it doesn't need obstacle collisions. So you waste money on the unwanted features you want. So in case we build a drone according to your customization, we understand your purpose and we build according to it. So you would have money on your control. You know what you're spending. So and there are even DGCA regulations, which is Director General of Civil Aviation in India, which has rules in drone manufacturing, and we even follow it. Current venture, we are actually developing a long-range communication network with built-in backup systems for maximum efficiency. So we are building it for an endurance drone, which is capable of 1 hour flying, and which is even used for delivering medical equipment to the hospitals. And we are even also studying the Visakhapatnam terrain data so that we can understand what is the optimal path of the flight and where we can minimize the magnetic interference. Thank you.
The floor is now open for the Q&A session.
Any questions? Madam, we can use by thermal imaging now. So if we scan a drop through thermal imaging and RGB camera, let me show you. So we'll get an output of this multispectral image. We can determine it.
So you'll just show us where the plants are live and where we don't have live plants. That's it, or any other?
And even we can use soil moisture sensors in there. It will be.
Do you want to go for a free trial in AU farm?
Yes, ma'am.
You shouldn't charge us.
We can offer you even pesticide spraying.
Thank you.
Commercial farmers level spraying chestara?
We are actually doing it, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How much each drone cost?
Cost of agriculture drone? It's between 3 to 4 lakhs.
So you have an agriculture drone?
Yes, sir, it's actually functioning.
No, the question is it only a product or you do the service? Where you own your own this thing and you give it as a service per acre, so much is the cost and you provide it. Do you do that?
Okay, we will offer it as a service, and per acre will cost around, initially we are estimating our prices 2 to 300 per acre.
This is good.
So in case we want it, in case for the farmer services.
Yes, sir, we will.
You will service?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I connect with me after this?
Yes, sir.
I'll connect you to our agriculture engineering scientist.
Okay.
So we've been trying to get drones for farmers or farmer services, and every time that fellow comes and does one and then crashes. So
Okay,
we keep failing with our drones.
Yes, we'll connect, sir.
ఏమో పెంచాడు వస్తే ఏమన్నా చెట్టు కుదేస్తుంటాడు అవ్వలేదు సార్ అంటుంటాడు. Every time we think about 20 acres, we get about 2 acres and then it's done. So,
No, sir, it doesn't happen.
No, hopefully.
Yeah, it doesn't. Sir.
One question is, you were saying that your startup is.
So you were saying your startup is focusing on customizing drones.
Yeah.
At the same time, in the last slide, you were mentioning 3 aspects of your focus. Is one, you are saying you want to create customized drones. Then you are saying that your focus is on long range, long distance flight, unmanned aerial vehicles. So what is your focus on? Is it on designing customized drones, or is it this unmanned aerial vehicles?
No, just that, because your pitch is confusing. Go to the next slide. I'll tell you why I did not want to. See, you talked about these 3.
Yeah.
Now, what this question is, wherever you're talking about high capacity and delivery of medicines is not, go back, don't change. Yeah. Where is delivery of medicines in this? So that's why when you talk, right, people start thinking, and then you get hit very badly when you say additional stuff, trying to cover everything. You should have covered only these 3. That's led to that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Basically, if these are the 3 products, concentrate on these 3 only. Don't say we have X, Y, and Z later.
Okay.
So all your R&D should be on this.
Yeah, this only. You can diversify in case the customer comes and says, should you need any additional things, we can provide. Or upon request, something like that. So don't diverge too much into everything else.
So people are looking at what is the breadth, which is this, and the depth in each one of those.
Okay.
Because in the next slide you have mentioned.
Yeah, this slide. Current
You're
venture.
saying you're developing the long range communication. Again, you're saying your focus is on extended UAVs.
So this is conflicting with the previous thing. What you're trying to do and what you're.
Because there's no mention anywhere about this UAV.
Can you be frank with you? Concentrate on agriculture, I'm telling you.
Huge market.
Huge market.
Okay.
Imagine we are trying to get someone from Vijayawada.
Okay, I can guess the name of the person.
Guess the name కాదు ఎవడో
Drone రాదు, కవర్ రాదు. దానికి పెద్ద guess చేయడం.
వాడి పేరు ఎందుకు వదిలేసిన తర్వాత పోతే మనకి వాడి మనకి ఎందుకు ఇక్కడ లేడే బాబు అని చెప్తున్నాను. Concentrate on something. That's what even madam was saying, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't have enough equipment for farms, and so concentrate on that.
Especially if you provide it as a service, I think more number of farmers can come and use your service.
Well,
And
we are
that will
providing
become
it as
your
service.
revenue generation.
Yeah, you are providing, but we didn't know up until now, kada. See, imagine they're charging 1,800 or something like that per acre.
It's committed 200, 300 rupees for it.
Don't worry, we'll talk. Don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's not having a proper market research and talking. See, people out here know all that stuff. So now you committed for 200 to 300 rupees. Within 300, aram se they'll give you 20 acres. Ippude sign chesi velipotharu.
Exactly.
Madam, ready.
200 acres with 300 rupees.
Okay.
Isko chese.
These guys were brought here just for this conversation. You better connect now, or else they'll come and kick you. They're angry now. Last question.
Oh, yes. I see these are your objectives, right? Drone and all programming is a bigger one. So what is your focus actually? What is your area? Like, are you customizing the programming, or are you just building everything from scratch?
We are like there are already some parts available. So the main customization happens in the flight controller and the software in it.
So you do programming for that?
Yes. Software optimization and some hardware.
Thank you. So, any students here? Other than the ones that presented, any other students? No students. Oh, wow. Okay. Of course, I know your students. These two groups made it to the last 10 of the Hard Prize competition. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming and taking the time. Hope your experience was good. There is a lot of room for improvement. You guys connect.
Yes.
So, this is why I was forcing all of you to come present at this forum. You can come back a few weeks later to refine your, come back refined with a refined presentation, so you can get more out of this. Okay, you're going to build the companies as you go. So we are also doing workshops for startup companies and students who are interested in starting up. So these guys are attending. You attended the first one. Your group attended the first one, Fly Nexus. You missed the first one. You can join us in the second one, end of this month. All right, thank you.
Thank you to both the teams for their pitches. Without further ado, let me introduce the speaker for today, Mr. Sriharsha, the founder of Vishesh Country Cache. Upon his return from the States, Mr. Sriharsha started Vishesh Country Cache based on the business model that was tried and tested by his father in a remote town. Hiring those with an aptitude and ambition, irrespective of their status of education, the organization aims to train these people to perform at a greater level and meet global standards, providing software solutions to clients throughout the world. Vishesh has been able to capture happy clients across the globe due to their tremendous focus on the quality, cost, and delivery of the product. Please welcome Mr. Sriharsha with a big round of applause.
Hey, good evening all of you, and thank you for the opportunity to meet these other audience this evening. This was more of an impromptu invite that came up to me about 4 to 5 days ago, so I kind of built something to drive the point. So, I want to start with who I am initially and then take you through what my firms. Am I audible? Is it
No,
okay?
no, you have to keep it close.
Is it closer?
Yeah,
It's almost close, as close as to my lips. Alright, so my intent today is to talk about what our industries, Vishesh Country Cache and Subha Electronics have been doing, okay. And as you can see, I was thinking of the ad title for this, and the thing that stuck to me was bite-sized brilliance, because I think there is enormous talent and potential and intellect in the tier 3 towns within India. So, and hence I titled this bite-sized brilliance, and then I have tales from our village, Unravel, that I would like to share with you today, right? So yeah, let's start. This is the agenda for today. I'll just introduce myself, and then we'll talk briefly about our firm, Subha Electronics, and then about Vishesh Country Cache. And towards the end, I have to take a Q&A session. Alright, so I'm Harsha, as I was stating, and I graduated from Vellore in 2004 with a master's in information technology. From there on, I went to the US, pursued my master's in computer science, and I was working in the US between 2006 to 17 with various companies like Cisco, VMware, etc. And eventually, I had to relocate to India in 2017 for family situations, and that's when I got to start thinking on how do I take my career forward from here. Okay. So let me take you forward on those lines. All right. Am I audible enough? Is this okay?
Right
Not
behind
loud
you would
enough.
be good.
Okay. All right. All right, let's start with Subha Electronics. I think the volume is up. So this is a firm that my father, Dr. Malini Krishna Rao, has started in 2000. We are located in Undrajapuram. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Undrajapuram. So it's a village next to Tanuku. We have an ancestral home in Undrajapuram in a one-acre place, and then after my grandparents' demise, my father really wanted to put it to good use that enables and propels people forward in all ways, right? And right about that time, he invested a lot in remodeling this house, and then struck an opportunity wherein one of my cousins who was in the US returned around 2000, and then he started something in Chennai for radio frequency transformer wiring. I'll quickly show you what radio frequency transformers and other things are, but that was the opportunity that stuck really right on time, and we were able to capitalize on it. And we had a dialogue with him, and we encouraged him to look at opportunities on why do we have to do all of this in Chennai. Why can't we have some of these mundane, tedious work done at a lower cost from a tier 3 town versus getting it done from Chennai or Hyderabad, etc. Right? So that's how it all started, right? I think that was the starting point back in 2020 on how this all started. But let me take you through the next steps because So the first couple of years, I mean, I have built this PowerPoint just to drive things, but I may not be coherently walking you through the slide and my speech. But the first 1 year when we started Subha Electronics was very tough because the RF transformer, radio frequency transformers, have a small core. Probably a lot of you would have seen the PCBs in televisions, via Xboxes, etc. Right? It's a small core, which will be very small, and then you will see a copper winding around it soldered to the PCB. Right? So that is what we manually wind at Subha Electronics in Undrajapuram. Okay, and we started off with quickly running you through these timelines here and the milestones. We started off with 25 employees initially because it was something new that was not tested. We did not have the IP on how to do it, and we encountered a lot of challenges. Honestly, the first 1 year was really tough for my father, and he was managing both his medical practice and this one. So he was enduring a lot of challenges, and during the first 1 year, we almost thought that maybe we will have to shut this down because we were not able to meet the quality expectations of our suppliers, right? Because they're very fragile. I mean, the smallest friction or a smallest distortion can get you to a reject, right? So you have to be really careful, and you need to have a great eyesight. And you need to have a very good agility with your hands when you're winding those transformers, which are very rare skills, not that easy, something that you will get right out of the mark. So we started there, and then the first year was tough, but eventually we decided that we will send some of our folks to Chennai to cross-train them better, and that happened, and slowly things started falling in place, and that's when we started scaling slowly. And today, what we started with 1,000 models, today we are able to do 1 lakh models per week actually. And a lot of tasks, right? Today we have a team of 150 people working for us in this ancestral home and managing all the things that go around this 150 people, like clock in, clock out, throughput based on the model, the number of windings that should get shipped for a given day, defects, all these things. There are a number of things that go around while these things happen. So we have a homegrown ERP that these teams manage and input and cross-train and be self-sufficient with what needs to be done. And they are the people, that make things happen despite me standing here on the stage. And we'll also talk about trust, building teams and how they, it's a very salient ecosystem which fosters a live and a let live community feeling. And the 150 people are very seamless, very agile, very disciplined, and I'm really happy to host any of you who would like to come by and visit us anytime. And this is a quick glimpse. The reason I'm showcasing you pictures is because I really want you to understand what this is about and reinforce what I'm talking about, right? So this is the initial theme, this is the ancestral home. This is my father, Dr. Malini Krishnarao, and my mother. And, you can see how people work. These are pretty small, right? As you can see here. You need to have very good eyesight and agility when you are working with such miniature things. And quickly running you through how things work. These are called drawing sheets. This is what we get from our clients. This gives the specifications on how the transformer should be winded. And the team here, there are teams of 6 followed with a in charge for every team, and they review the drawings and understand how the winding should be done, and then starts the winding process followed by twisting process. And then we have the inspection. Each team has a group of 6, and the QC within the team inspects all the windings that are done within the team, followed by packaging and shipping. And when it comes to the shipping, all our finished goods move from here to Chennai. And in Chennai, there is a company called Ujjita Electronics. And from Ujjita Electronics, there might be an additional step of assembly that happens out there. And from there on, all of these components travel to a company called Mini Circuits within the US. And the interesting part, the pictures here are from, this is a government in Unravel. Most of our employees come from this government school within Unravel. Okay, so 95% of our employees are either 10th graduates or 10 plus 2 graduates. And through the years of 24, it's been 24 years since this firm has been started. About 10,000 girls work here. So here comes the emotional part of what happens within Indian villages, right? I see this prevalent even today because a lot of parents, because of their economic background or financial status or whatever it might be, right, or lack of exposure, especially the girls are forbidden further education after 10th grade, right? So typically they end up staying at home, taking care of the household chores for about 5 to 6 years and eventually get married and move on to the next phase of their life. So the kind of girls that come in for employment at our company are these set of people. Okay. And and these girls come from nominal backgrounds, most of their parents being masons and that kind of things, and you can understand the financial status of those families. They don't take care of their, especially the fathers. They may not be at their best in giving their best to their families. So a lot of these girls, they're able to repay the debts that their parents have taken from external people. And some of the girls have bought land for their parents and built house on those lands, and then got married and went to the next phases of their life. And some of these girls even took care of their own marriage expenses, whatever we may call it in today's society norms, but through the gratuity and peer earnings that they have had earned working with us over the duration, they took care of their marriage expenses of their own. And while my father was managing this, he even took care of the best performing employees to Himalayas trip, Kashi trip, and South India trip. And these are the kind of girls who never set their foot outside of unravel also for their lifetime, and they have been given this opportunity to go out. So this explored a lot of horizons for them, and they evolved to what they are today. So how did it enable the women employees, right? So today, as I look back and talk to anybody, I see an innate confidence within them, and they inherently have a can-do and can achieve attitude in anything, right? Not just winding or not just an inspection, but it could be an errand where some external thing fell out of place and they have to go and sort it out, right? And I just tell them, hey, please take care of this, and boom, they go, irrespective of where it is, right? And that's the confidence that the whole system has instigated into their culture and lives. And through the journey, they have got more exposure on how people behave, because they are living together with 150 people talking to them every day. So the people's mindsets, attitudes have really helped them understand how to manage themselves with such ecosystem. And time management skills, we start out there at 7:30 in the morning, and there is a prayer, and followed by the prayer is when they start their work. And there is throughput measurement on how much each model has a throughput, right? If it's a basic model or a critical model based on the nature of the binding. So based on that, they have their watches and they manage their time very well. And English communication skills is one thing that I have started to encourage with them, because most of these girls come from a Telugu medium background. So this is something that I have started, and I'm seeing some progress over time. And all of this has instigated, like all these things that I've been talking through, has instigated something different when they started this journey. It's discipline, right? How do they start their day? How do they conduct themselves? How do they behave? So that discipline is inherently without their knowledge instigated, and they're going to take this through the rest of their lives as well. And the other thing that we have been doing, my father has been doing, is giving back to the community in meaningful ways, because especially in the rural communities, there are a lot of ignorance on what Sanatana Dharma is all about and how it works. So my father we were fortunate enough actually, by God's grace, a lot of gurus, Chagandi Koteswara garu, Garipad Narasimha garu, Samvedam Sanmukha Sharma garu, we were able to conduct Ramayanam, Mahabharatam and Bhagavatam Pravachanams for almost 160 days within the premises of our company, to enlighten our people around us on Sanatana Dharma. And all these videos are uploaded onto YouTube, so you can actually search Subha Electronics and you'll get all the details about that. So that's a brief about Subha Electronics, and you might be wondering, the title of the conversation today is high-tech jobs in Tier 3 towns, and I'm here talking about Subha Electronics, right? So Subha Electronics has an innate background on what I'm trying to do today, right? That's the reason I spent about 10 minutes on trying to educate what Subha Electronics has done and what kind of an impact it had within me, right? So when I came back in 2017, I was asking myself, should I continue working for someone like I used to do, or should I start something on my own, right? And then after some meaningful reflection, I felt like success of Subha Electronics has taught a lot to me. And with my background, why can't I embrace the same thing towards software? Is where it all started, actually. and our company's name is Vishesh Country Cash, and the name is not something you see on a daily basis because you see technology solutions on a day-to-day basis, right? You don't see Vishesh Country Cash. So when I thought of starting a software company, our auditor said that your business name should be in line with the nature of your business, right? So which was innately taking me towards solutions or technologies, and I stood away from it and I wanted to do something different. Vishesh Country Cash stands for Visheshamaina Palleturi Nyapakalu. Cash is the software memory. So that's what it reflects. Okay. So with that, let's talk about what's going on with Vishesh. I think I ran you through this slide. Basically, this is our company, and I'll talk through what I've been doing with Vishesh. Okay, let's talk about our vision. What are we trying to do? We are a software company, understood, but what are we trying to do? One of the fundamental things that I understood when I tried to interview about 150 graduates, I actually interviewed MCAs, MTechs, BTechs, degree computer science, MBAs, etc. Right? One of the inherent drawbacks in today's educational system is the graduates are graduating with all these degrees, but there is no intellect in that education. They are failing on the fundamental questions, unfortunately. I'm not talking about a big drone level questions or anything, but fundamental questions in your line of business, and they didn't get me. And that got me thinking, how do I go about it, right? Because these are the people I kind of need to hire when I'm in this place. I cannot afford to hire somebody from Hyderabad, they may not be interested in coming even, right? So after thinking for a few days, then I have decided I think I have to invest in training them, right? And what kind of a training curriculum should I embrace while training them? I felt like I should not give them nothing less than the best, which is available in the world, right? So then I went back to the Stanford University, looked at what kind of a curriculum the undergrad school at Stanford University is following for computer science. And then I bought a lot of books that are being followed over there back to Unravel. And we also I interviewed about 5 to 6 head of the departments of computer science back then in 2016. And then we hired one person who I felt could do justice for what I'm aiming for. And that's how we started, and we evolved. We made quite a bit of progress, which I'll be running through. But that's one of our goals of what we are trying to do: enable countryside graduates, irrespective of their academic background. Okay. And the next thing is deliver technology services from the countryside, right? So technology services. I've been in the US. I have seen software professionals from Cognizant, Wipro, all these people, right? A lot of times when I talk to 10 people, I find meaningfulness only in a couple of people, while the rest are not at par with my expectations. So I didn't want that to happen with Vishesh. So we want everybody to be at the same level and cadre. And we also wanted to make sure the technology services are delivered only from Unrajaram, in-house from our premises. Okay. And I also want to do that meeting global standards. What would developing a design from somewhere in Silicon Valley mean, right? I want to get the same quality and output coming from Unravel. That's my goal here. And so the training really helped in achieving it. We were moderately successful, and even we went. Today we have clients from Europe, US, and a lot of local clients. We do a lot of design work. I think see a designer here also. We do a lot of design work for Intel, Semitron from Unravel. And giving back to the community is also something that we strongly believe in. We inherit that roots from Subha as well. So every month, at least one Saturday, we go back to a local temple, try to clean the premises, we also go to the local government schools because a lot of people have aspirations. Hey, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a police officer. But what are my options from here? I mean, after 10th grade, a lot of times we are stuck to a MPC or a BPC motion, right? But I want to go to Navy. How do I maneuver my career from here? So we counsel them, educate them on helping them understand what are the career paths that they can take to get to their goals that they're aspiring for. And I'm a big fan of organic farming, given how things are happening around agriculture produce right now. So our premises is a 11-acre premises almost. So we kind of try to in a small area we try to do some organic farming to understand how things work and at least get to a level where we can consume our own produce at a small scale, right? And some out-of-the-box solutions to solve some common, society problems, which I'll also be talking about in a bit. So, how do we enable employees, right? These employees are being curated on a Stanford University curriculum. So eventually, once they are done with this curriculum, they are instigated with a go-getter attitude towards all technology, but it's not just a full-stack developer or a creative designer. Because somebody might be a creative designer today, but hey, AI is coming up and it's doing something different that we have been doing, and we have to reconfigure ourselves to do something that we cannot do, right? So kind of a confidence is what this curriculum has instigated. So they can quickly pivot and shift gears and look at something that makes sense at that point of time, rather than getting hung up on, hey, I've been a QA, so I only know how to do quality assurance, right? So no, that's not how life is, right? So that's something that gets instigated into them. And also, right, the kind of intellect that they get curated in the process, because I know some of my employees, because the Stanford programming curriculum is so intense that one of my employees used to walk on the roads at midnight. Like, he used to go in the midnight and like this, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And that came to me. And then I started talking to him, what happened? And he was like, until I get the logic of that question, I'm not able to sleep. And some of these people took 2 to 3 days to solve a problem, but then you understand in that process they're transforming themselves into, they're learning persistence, not giving up, etc. Right? So that is what this curriculum has instigated into them. Right? So another thing that I encourage is, software is just a means of life, right? And tomorrow we don't know how things are, right? So we do a lot of construction around our premises. So I encourage people to, when there is a plumber, I assign 2 people who understand what the plumber is doing, how does the whole toilet system work, how does the construction working, why are they doing this and other things. So it's more, they become more knowledgeable on the worldly things and not just about software, because this software is just part of life and there's more in life than software. And this is one thing, right? I was talking to one of my, while I was in the US, in fact, I was talking to one of my brother-in-law's cousins about the whole thing. So he was very curious on, is this working in a village? And he said, I want to talk to them. And boom, we were on a Zoom call, and he spoke to them, and I thought he would speak to them for half an hour, and that ended up being about for 3-4 hours. And he actually asked them the same questions on whatever are the interview questions posed during Google. And then I was sitting and listening through, and towards the end, his conclusion was, your employees have answered 75% of the questions asked during Google, and that's how I can benchmark myself. So I'll just keep up in the interest of time. So these are the different milestones, and we started in 16, and here we are in 24. So real quick, right? With few employees, we started in a bunker, and then today we are having a glorious campus with a live and let live. One of my goals is, even if people stretch their hands, I don't want them to touch each other. With dual monitors, cross ventilation, surrounded by paddy fields, etc. And today we have different verticals, full stack, digital marketing, creative design. We are also starting on AML, scratching the surface. So I just want to talk about a few success stories here because I feel talking about at least one or two success stories gives you some tangibility on what all. So she's Jansi, one of my employees. When I started, she came to me and said, "Sir, nakemi radu kan nakedo cheyali." That's the exact word she used, and that really impressed me, right? And boom, she went through all the curriculum. It was not easy, right? She left us in the middle saying, with all the stress I was giving her hemoglobin padipoyindi sir, doctor and rest iskomannaru. All those things went. So it was not easy. But we were with her, trying to encourage her. We pulled her back. Programming udu Excel lo pedatanani malla programming lo petesi. So today she is driving our whole creative design team, and she's a housewife. She almost draws more than what her husband draws. Here is a Google UX design certificate that she has earned very recently. And she is Rajeshwari. She is a 10th class Telugu medium graduate. She earlier used to work for our company in Subha Electronics. And when I started, she is the one that my father wanted me to see if she will work. It took her 2 years. She used to wake up at 4 every day in the morning, take care of household chores, kids, cooking, so on and so forth. After 2 years, she is today at par with an MBA, MCA, MTech. She sits next to them, works for one of our clients from our Unravel office in Germany. She has a Oracle Java certification. She also has a Google UX. Her academic credentials are 10th class. And she is Anita. She is an intermediate graduate. That's where she stopped her education because of her financial constraints. And a similar story, I don't want to go too deep, but today she is able to give training in full stack to MCAs, MTechs, BTechs. Her academic background is an intern. And she has Angular level 1, level 2. And she also completed CS50 from MIT. Giving back to the community is one thing that is championed. So here are some things where we planted some trees. For Ganesh Chaturthi, we went and collected mud from the riverbed. They make Ganesh Chaturthi, this thing. This is career options. And this is one thing which I want to talk about. This is an out-of-box solution which I said we champion, right? In Undrajaram, we have a lot of flies. Right? Given the poultries around Undrajaram, flies is one menace that we encounter. So I was talking to the team, how do we solve this problem and yet be environmentally friendly, right? Not the heats and other things. So we did a lot of research around that, took about 1.5 months, and then we came up with this concept, which is completely, I wish I could zoom it, but what happens here, this is a mesh, right? You can see this is a cone here, right? It's a cone with an aperture here that is open. And here we place some sugar syrup, right? So when the flies smell the syrup, they go underneath here, eat the syrup. And then there is a small lighting at the aperture of the cone, and always flies are attracted towards light. So they go up here and then they get trapped here, okay? And they don't know that they can go back the same way here. And then we put it in the sun and they get dehydrated and die. So these are some interesting concepts we have tried. Everything is made here only with a mesh and everything. Nothing was bought from outside. And these are the things that give them confidence in life on how they can go about with their things like that. So I want to conclude, right? What am I trying to bring out to you? It's not my success story. It is more about trying to educate the audience here with this use case that there is enormous potential that you guys as entrepreneurs can avail from the countryside in tier 3 towns within India. It's not going to be easy as I probably speak, but with my story, I hope each one of you get inspired, and I can definitely help talk to you one-on-one. But there are, as I was saying, right, enormous untapped resources, organic people, real estate, environment that startups can thrive in a tier 3 town. Zoho model is a classic example. I'm sure all of you are aware of Zoho model. COVID situation also has reinforced some of these things that I've been talking about. And advantage to the employees, enormous advantage, right? Closer to the parents, better family, cost of living, right? My employees from Tanuku to come to my office, it takes 10 rupees by auto. So 20 rupees per day is what their expenditure is, other than the household, groceries, other things. But imagine how this should have shifted when it's in Hyderabad or Bangalore, right? So the savings percentage being in a tier 3 town, I think it will be at least 85%, whereas in a tier 1 town, it might be the vice versa. Okay? And advantage to the employers in my scenario, the lower cost that I'm experiencing, I'm passing it back to my clients, right? I don't need such kind of a wages because my real estate costs are low, my wages may not be at par with what I would have paid, but I'm passing them back to the client. So I hope with this kind of a story, I have given enough insight on what a tier 3 town can help you with your business models. And let's stop. I'm here. I stay in Visakhapatnam for 20 days and 10 days back in Unravel. And thank you for the opportunity, Divakar. If there are any questions, I would.
Sir, I have two questions. Like, you stay in Undrajvanam, right?
I keep traveling. So
you keep traveling. So how do you manage to get clients and networking from starting your business? The main part in Undrajvanam, clients from Chennai and clients for your infotech.
Sure. I think that's a great question. Can you guys hear me? I think that's a great question because marketing is the other side of it, right? So when you have a business, right, you see in your towns, right? For example, you drive to a restaurant even though it is 2 kilometers away, if the biryani is good over there, right? So similarly, there should be some USP, unique selling point in your business model. Like for me, I always talk about two things other than what I said. High cost, low quality are my unique selling points. If somebody is doing that work in Bangalore for 10 rupees, I get the same thing done from Undravel at 4 rupees. Yet with a higher quality than what a Hyderabad would have given, or at least at par. Okay, so you need to identify what your unique selling points are, and then you need to network, right? So client is not somebody just because I opened an office, people won't come walking. So you need to, collaborate, network, talk to people. There are a lot of times when I did things for free also, just to manifest myself. So the freebies are inevitable, right? So you need to do all that Samaveda Dando Pilo to get whatever first client, and I have gone through that, right? I have done all that for my first client to land on me. But after the first and second clients, the traction slowly begins and the momentum builds up. All right. So it's not going to be easy. You will have to find a lot of places. There are, social platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, etc. Right. So you need to do whatever is needed to get your first client.
How many days in a month you stay in Undrajvanam?
So I stay about 10 days between 25th to the 5th of every month of the following month. So one of the things probably I didn't highlight enough, right? Because of the organic people that are available over there taking care of things, I'm able to do this, right? I'm able to stay 20 days here in Visakhapatnam with my family and go back there 10 days, right? So that's another advantage, right? That's another advantage of the people that are taking care of things. I can strongly believe that they're doing the right thing for the business.
Hi, Shreyas. My name is Satya. Your journey for startup Shubha Electronics and your journey has been inspiration to many entrepreneurs. So such a business model, it can give there is a purpose on your journey and it giving economic growth in the local. So definitely we'll take this model also. We'll try to do that. I would like to ask you one question. Now we are completing software industry like development, those things are correct. This is Vishesh country code. Right now OpenAI came, NVIDIA is coming. So how are you going to manage it in the future? Because within less cost, they're going to make programming and also. Is it going to affect your company?
Yeah, so you're talking about the impact of AI, ML
on your Vishesh.
Correct, right? So, yeah, no, I think that's a great question.
I have another question.
Sure, yeah. So, see, so there are two ways to look at it, right? I mean, if you look back 15, 20 years ago, when systems, laptops, desktops came, there was a mayhem. అంటే ఒక కంగారు సొసైటీలో మొదలైంది. అప్పుడు దాకా ఉన్న జాబులు తగ్గిపోతాయి, సిస్టమ్స్ రావడం వల్ల, ల్యాప్టాప్స్ రావడం వల్ల.
did people lose their jobs because we had systems? I think we just shifted the way we did things. ఇదివరకు చేసిన దానికి ఇప్పుడు దానికి చేసే పద్ధతుల్లో మారుతున్నాయి తప్ప జాబ్ లేదు మారలేదు. ఇప్పుడు కూడా ఏంటంటే I don't truly look at it as artificial intelligence. I look at it as augmented intelligence, right? So you can use it. Like chat GPT కానీ ఏది తీసుకున్నా సరే నాకు ఇది కావాలంటే అని you cannot give it, right? But if you train it in a meaningful way, set context, it's called prompt engineering antaru dani, right? So a prompt engineering no correctly iste you might get something closer to what you desire. Closer to danni తీసుకుని ఇంకా నువ్వు క్యూరేట్ చేసి you will ultimately get what you want. So I think I still look upon AI ML as something that will enable us to do what we intend to do better, swifter, faster, agility. So అందుకనే నేను చెప్తున్నాను, even earlier I was giving an example, right? So మనము we should not stay dogmatic on, నేను ఇదివరకు Adobe Creative Suite వాడి లోగో చేశాను కాబట్టి దాంతోనే నా జనరేషన్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంటే నో, నేను ఇండస్ట్రీలోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు .NET తెలిస్తే like it's a great thing అసలు, right? Today nobody talks about .NET. .NET has evaporated, right? So alaga, if you see the tech stacks, every technology has a lifespan and every decade things change. So you have to transform yourself. But yeah, I mean, how you transform another, but your relevance in the industry depends. And you had a second question.
You told me about Shubha Electronics. You used to make 1,000 transformer manufactured with 1,000 correct?
Models.
1,000 models per week. Later it went to 1 lakh. So what was the time period like between them?
So
within
models అంటే based on client needs and based on client needs, like for example ఇప్పుడు కోవిడ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు కార్ షార్టేజ్ చిప్స్ అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే మా కార్ సంబంధించిన ఎక్కువ వస్తాయి అన్నమాట, అండర్స్టాండ్? సో ఇట్ టాక్స్ అబౌట్ అవర్ ఎబిలిటీ టు డూ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ దీస్ 1 lakh మోడల్స్ లో మేము ఏదైనా చేయగలం అన్నమాట. దట్స్ వాట్ ఇట్ రియల్లీ మీన్స్ అన్నమాట. అర్థమైంది? Okay, I think the time is up, but one last question, I think. Yeah.
Congratulations, sir. And I want to ask you one question related to the manpower, right? Because you are picking candidates from the local villages, that too they are 10 plus 2 or some. How are you able to train them? Maybe you selected the Stanford curriculum, but right, even for now, for a new fresh graduates from normal government college engineering, it's very difficult even for small startups to pick them, to bring them up to production level. So what are the costs involved for you, and also what are the methodologies you are implementing, to bring them up to the production level?
I think that's a very great question too. All good questions, guys. So training is one of my biggest bottleneck, guys. I mean, I can do 10 applications and softwares, but ఒకరిని ట్రైన్ చేయాలంటే there is enormous sweat, because if you look at it, ఈ రోజున కరికులంలో ఇంకా మన ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ సిస్టమ్ టెస్ట్ పేపర్స్, మార్క్స్, క్రామింగ్ నుంచి తీసుకొచ్చి వాళ్ళని ఒక్క లెవెల్లో స్టాన్ఫర్డ్ యూనివర్సిటీ దూరంలో ఎక్కించాలంటే యూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్ హౌ మచ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఎఫర్ట్ ఇట్ ఇస్. సో ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ ఈజీ. It's very expensive. It needs a lot of time, interaction, counseling with these people, fostering the confidence, and being with them all through, giving them the confidence. So it's not easy at all. But end of the heroes, meeku 3 use cases నేను present చేశాను. So looking at all this happiness, I tend to forget all that I have endured. But it's not easy, చెప్తున్నాను. The training is my biggest bottleneck. Getting clients is not my biggest bottleneck. Getting work done is not my bottleneck. But training is my bottleneck. But being in Unravel, I don't have an option, right? So as I was saying earlier.
Can you replicate that model in Visakhapatnam?
Yeah.
Training.
No, it's
basically
okay.
Training.
Really great stuff. I think reliving my days. 2006, I've done exactly the same with Satyam. Not gone for campuses, picked up people who really failed in the campus placement drives, struggling in Ameerpet, picked up those guys and rebuilt the Satyam Center here. Now, from a tier 2, that was a model where I go, okay, it was not for me. I had exactly same problem. Training was the biggest thing. Even Satyam never believed in it. They didn't pay. I had to pay from my own pocket and get them to be trained in 15, 16 different areas, including we are talking about data warehousing and products like Cognos in Informatica and all that stuff. And so it was, I know the pain that you would have gone through, the question that you was asking. It's not an easy task. It's very difficult. I think basically finding those people with the right attitude and then taking them through. So we've done a very simple, similar stuff. NASCOM appreciated. My boss got a NASCOM Innovation Award for that. But yeah, I think now taking it from tier 2 to tier 3 is a great move. I think, yeah, another Sridhar Vembo sort of story coming up here. But my request is, since you're here in Vizag for 20 odd days, this story needs to go to the students. They need to wake up, because these guys think that, oh, I've joined a computer science, BTech, and it's like it's done and all that stuff. And we always, it happens. I know I'm taking a little bit of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, because we understand, because when we do these hackathons, it's the 8th graders, 9th graders, they're in the top 3, top 5. The young kids from a school that is not even known in Vizag. Nobody would even send their kids to that school. It's not known, but they have that, the person who runs that, Srinivas, has a very similar intent. So I think you should speak more in these forums to get these people to understand that technology, it is basically, if you put the right attitude and this thing, you don't need to, because there's one point that you said, very apt. Today's rote learning and degree students, it's largely, they are engineers on paper. Practically don't know nothing about engineering. Practically zero. And I think we would, like through our hub, would want to associate in taking your story more to the students and to the startups and how to enable this. Because always the complaint of startups would be, నాకు ఇక్కడ మనుషులు దొరుకుతుంది, నేను అంత హైదరాబాద్ వెళ్తాను, లేకపోతే బెంగళూరు వెళ్తాను, లేకపోతే చెన్నై. These are the only this thing. Why are you not successful? Because there is no talent around. But there are hacks and workarounds, but you need to have that perseverance, patience put together. Maybe collectively, if startups have to do it and you can bring that model out, we can help fund it and build it so that startups can, students can benefit, the startups can benefit, and we would be more than happy to associate and do something here. And if there's some talent that's good, you can take them too. So that's yeah.
I would love to collaborate, sir. Thank you. And
thank you. That's wonderful that
you guys can come, right? I was talking to Divakar in the country. In fact, I have one of my employees, Aditya, sitting here. So he's a transformation story also, right in front of you. Today he's here to help with some construction. So he's a software engineer and here to help. So that's what I instigate into people. Don't get hung up in software. Life can throw anything at you randomly. So you have to be prepared. So immunity ready aitene manaki putting our eggs in multiple baskets will help us. So I'm ready to give my time, sir.
I still have to talk to you. I had friends, I had Symbiosis Naresh, I had Devpal Samshay Kumar, all these people, because Satyam refused to give me trainers. I had to go outside and get all my friends in Vizag and come and train these guys. So there was zero budget for me and I had to spend for my pocket. But I was wondering how to...
See, I think one more minute just to answer this. See, one thing that I strongly believe in is if you feel that the training can only be done by the trainer, like NMC or so ironically what happened was the head of the Department of Computer Science I hired did a great job in giving all that stuff. But after 4 years, he said he wanted to move on, right? We were taking good care of him, and that's nature, right? So then, my immediate philosophy is anybody should be able to do it because that's the nature of training that we have imparted, right? Why does a head of the department need to do it alone? Whatever Anita and Ammai, like I said earlier, she is now training the BTechs and MTechs who are now joining our institute. She is an intermediate graduate. So that's the model we have to encourage because our trainer రావాలి వాడికి ఏదో ఒక డిగ్రీ వాడి వల్లనే అవుతుంది అంటే lot of side effects ఉంటాయి. So let the common man do it, let the common man be enabled and let him impart education to his peers.
Again, just to conclude, what happens while you get business people were asking how we don't need to. We were at the same challenging point there when I was in the US. I reverse migrated to this problem saying that business to TCS because they are giving it a lower cost. More or less the quality of stuff, people out there, people move from here and there, is the same, but they are at $1 per hour lesser than something. So I have to create a structure which is at least $2 lesser. So these guys are all locally, and exactly after 2 years or 3 years, I let them go to all the big companies because now they've got 2 to 3 years of great experience, they will not stay. Again, feed at the bottom of the pyramid and then build it. And as they go up the cost structure, you have to put them off. Keep 10-15%. Rest, I think the same model. Great to hear that one more story coming up.
I think the harmony lies in creating an ecosystem, right? And yes, people are here to make money, jobs, make something out of it, get married, whatever, right? But if we can create an ecosystem, that is what the beauty of tier 3 now, right? Our building level koste, we have a fuse ball table, a table tennis table, a Starbucks like high table. So that, see, we have created an ecosystem where it is theirs. So
experience that.
Right, I mean, I tell them that is their space, not my space, right? So a sense of belonging, a true belonging that they belong to that place under the create chegalite, the iteration will be very low, they will be very happy, and they will take care of the company better than what I can do to the company. That's what I believe. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you for the
One final comment is that finally we come to that rural livelihood program where how you can use the entire process. Sriharsha was to create a startup Saturday, was to see if can we use the technology, the market, whatever from this and the finances, right, from the urban areas and see if we can create livelihoods around peri-urban and rural areas. So that was a thought we started this forum. So finally we find, after what 17 months, we finally get one. Great, thank you.
It's great to collaborate.
Thank you, Mr. Sriharsha, for walking us through the wonderful story of your organization and the great work you're doing by providing opportunities in rural India. I appreciate your participation in today's fantastic meeting. Please scan this QR code. Please scan this QR code to give the feedback on this session, as your input would be appreciated while we work to make these meetings better. I request you all to gather for a group picture. Thank you.